Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I know it's been so long since you guys have seen me like sit down and actually do a video talking about something other than just my life in dental school. So today I'm going to be talking about my most commonly asked questions about Howard and like that type of stuff. So if you think you want to watch this video, then just keep on watching. So if you have not already subscribed, you need to subscribe to my channel. You need to like this video. Stop what you're doing right now and just like this video. Comment on this video. Share this video. Help your girl out, because I know y'all been watching these videos but not subscribing. So just go ahead and subscribe. But I have my phone here because I wrote everything that I want to talk about on here. So I'm going to just start off with the pros and cons about Howard. So and this is based off like my experience and like why I chose Howard. Hold on, sorry. It's early. I have to film early here because if not, this traffic would be going crazy. Okay, so the first pro I wrote, Howard has a small class. So normally the class size, I think the cap is 80. My class right now, my class is only 67 people. And I think when I first started, my class was like 76 people or something like that. So we lost some people along the way. Some academic, some personal, some, you know, career changes. So when you start dental school, it's not going to always be, everyone's not going to stay. And they tell you that everywhere. It's told you, like all schools lose people. It's just a thing. I like that it was a melting pot. Even though Howard is a HBCU, they do accept like a bunch of different like backgrounds, ethnicities, cultures. So in my class we have Jamaicans, we have Africans, specifically we have like some Cameroonians, some Tanzania, we got some Egyptians, we got some Arabs, like Middle Eastern people, we got some Caucasians. So it's literally just a mix. It's not just black people, and I feel like sometimes that's a little misconception for HBCU. Granted, it is majority black people. There's a lot of successful professors there. A lot of people have their own practice. Some people still have their own practice, and then they come back to teach, or they really like teaching, so they kind of do it on the side. Probably like half of my professors still work like at their own office, so that's cool. And also at Howard, they teach you about the business side of dental school. So I know a lot of videos I watch and people are like, yeah, I wish I would learn more about business in dental school, or like owning a practice, or like just kind of getting your feet wet with, you know, ownership. And Howard, we have I think 2 classes, no, maybe 3. We have, no, I think it's 2. We have, no, we take it 3 years, I think. It's called Dental Practice Readiness, and it's basically you learn about owning a practice. You learn about financing. We talk to bankers. We talk to real estate investors. Like, we've done projects. Like, I've learned more about that than, you know, other things. So it is really helpful. So of course they're big on community service at Howard, so I also chose them for that. They do mission trips and stuff like that, so I like that. And then they're big on representation as far as like how you present yourself. So like business casual, like that's why D1 year you wear business casual. They make sure you realize that you are in professional school. Business casual, they speak to you like student doctors. They address you like, oh, student doctors. I know some schools, they don't mention the doctor name for the students. It's kind of like, no, you're a student. Well, would they say like student doctor? That's how they kind of communicate with us. So those were pretty much the pros. So then the cons, because I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all, keep it real. There's like a lot of baby boomers in the administration part of it, so naturally things are a little bit slower. Naturally things are a little bit behind, take them a little bit longer. So as far as, I know people are like, okay, what do you mean? So as far as communication with scheduling, so most schools probably get their schedule, and I'm just assuming most schools probably get their schedule, you know, maybe a few weeks before school starts. Sometimes at Howard we'll get our schedule like the week before. And when I say schedule, I mean like the times you're gonna be on campus. And it's not a huge thing. Financial aid used to be an issue. Now they changed it up. They have new people, so it's not as slow. Because before we used to get our refund like a month later or something, but now it's like 2 weeks after school. Like most schools are like 2 weeks after school. And I know most people are aware of that scandal Howard had back in like 2017 with the financial aid and stuff. So that was, I think, one of the reasons why financial aid used to be so slow, because yeah. But now that's been rectified, and they sent this email like last year saying that they have been like up to date, like with all that fraud stuff. Basically they are like back on track. So whether auditing and like reviews with the federal government, like all that's back straight. So now like refunds are on time, money's allotted, budget is set. So that's a con that has became a better pro, a pro. Okay. And then of course, also being this HBCU, historically it is an older building, a little bit older equipment, a little bit older like machinery, but that has not stopped like learning. That has not been an issue for learning. Before COVID, they have raised like $1 million, so they're getting a new clinic downstairs. There's been renovations, so like it's up and coming. Like they do recognize that things need to change, and a lot of people have been donating. And it's always a thing of like, they always say like, oh, why is Howard like older, and like why are you not up to date? But they always, I think being as a private school, a lot of the alumni does not give back or something they were saying. And if you think about a lot of PWI schools, or like more like Ivy League schools, a lot of the alumni give back. And for some reason, a lot of Howard alumni give back, but it's just not the multitude of things, you know. It's just a lot of in between. So that's neither here nor there. Okay, so those are the pros and cons of Howard. So then I'm gonna talk about, someone asked me before, like, how does the support of the class, like how do you feel like as a class? So being when the class is smaller, I feel like everyone knows everyone, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. You're not gonna get along with everyone. Just being real, like there's people in my class I just naturally don't talk to, naturally wouldn't care for, you know, to hang out with or deal with, or their personality just not aligned with mine. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're not supposed to be buddy with everyone. That's just not realistic. But I'm respectful, they're respectful, we speak hello, and we still move as one. So when I say we move as one, so say for example, this has happened in my class. Say for example, you're married, you have kids, and you know, you really just didn't study for the exam, or like things has happened, and you know, you reach out and the professors proposed like, oh, you know, we can take this test tomorrow, or we can wait till next week. Everybody wants to take it tomorrow and knock it out of the way. But if you're like, y'all, like, you know, my kids has been sick, my husband's been sick, like, if y'all could just really do me this solid and like, let's move the test to next week, like the professor offered, like, that would be cool. And like, it's never really an issue. Like, everyone's like, all right, cool. There's been times where we've moved tests that I didn't want to move, but just because other people want to move, or they have reasons why they move it, I'm like, cool, like, we'll just move it. I don't care. I'm not going to be like the only one, like, I'm not moving it because I don't want to move it. Like, it's no need to be doing all that, because at the end of the day, if you're going to bend for someone later on when you need someone to bend for you, that they'll remember that, you know. So I just try to keep that in mind. Sorry, I don't know, my voice is cracking. And then someone asked before, how many people get into residency? So from my understanding, I don't know the percentage, but the D4s, the fourth years that like now, the people who applied to residency, like people I know or people I've heard, they've gotten in. So there's people going into pediatrics, oral surgery, ortho, general. There's people that's going straight to work. So people are going, and they're not just staying in the DC area. People are going back to Ohio. People are going to Florida. People are going to Texas. People are going to Georgia. People are going back like wherever they want to. You know, like people are getting in, applying, getting in, passing boards. Like there's no hold up. I feel like the hold up is only within, in a way. Like you didn't do your requirements. You didn't do your due diligence. And I always say that, like, dental school is what you make it, of course, but it's also I mean, dental school is what, you know, the faculty can bring in, all that, but it's also like what you do, like how much of a go-getter are you. And I know that at Howard they don't spoon feed you. I know a lot of schools like hand it to you, like, oh, here's this. Yes, Howard do that, you know. Yes, they have an obligation to do things, but at the same time it's like, are you gonna go when you have free time? Are you gonna go to the clinic and see if you can jump in and assist someone, or are you gonna go home? And I'm speaking for myself because I'm definitely a go home type of girl. But when I get in the clinic, I'm like, no, you need to stay. You need to go look. You need to go watch. You need to go help out. Because that's how you're gonna know. That's how you're gonna feel confident. That's how you're gonna get comfortable. So that's just my take on that. And then I also got a question on what does Howard look for applications. Howard looks for well-rounded people. They are big. Of course, you got to have the grades. I mean, that's just standard. You got to have that DAT. I know the DAT minimum when I applied was like 17. I think was 17, or the average, or no, the minimum or the average. I can't remember. And then of course your science GPA got to be. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. The science GPA got to be, you know, nice and tight. So, and then they want to look at community service. Like, what did you do? We don't want to just see a whole bunch of good grades. Like, were you helping out? Were you doing this? Were you doing that? So, I've heard a lot of programs after dental school, like residencies, they look for that too. Like, yeah, you got a, you know, 3.8, but you weren't in no club. You weren't in, like, no organization. You barely did a little community service. So, it's good to kind of have that well-roundedness. And it's funny because I always say that, but then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then final question, if would I choose Howard if the chance came back around? Like, would I say yes again? And I would say yes to Howard. I couldn't imagine going to another dental school. Being that this is my first HBCU, I went to PWI for my master's and my undergrad. And as much as stigma has behind Howard, good stigma and bad stigmas, I feel like Howard was the place for me. And as much as I hate DC, I tell everybody I hate DC. And they're like, why do you hate DC? I'm like, it's just not for me. I think I'm just a southern girl, just a southern belle or something. So I am going back to Georgia when I'm done with this, but I would say Howard. I would say yes to Howard again. I would say yes to moving to DC. It is a different experience, but when this time is up, I gotta go. So yeah, so that's all the questions. If you have any more questions and you want to ask me, you can DM me. A lot of people just DM me on Instagram at the Dental League, or you can write in a comment. Maybe that question could help someone else. But until next time, make sure you subscribe, like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what other videos you want to see. Sorry, I could do more videos. I do want to do another video on finance and like how I'm paying for Howard. So if you're interested in that, then just let me know. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.